Hello, welcome to Revive It Home Decor and Restoration. My name is Sarah Kopp. I am the owner here. And today I'm going to show you how to paint a piece of furniture without sanding it down. Now, the reason we can do this is one reason. We are using a very special product, and this product is called Rethunk Junk Resin Paint. It is absolutely fabulous. I have been selling it now for almost 5 years, and my customers keep coming back and buying more and more and buying online. It's absolutely wonderful, very user-friendly, self-leveling, and just so easy, very durable, weather-resistant, all the great things. So I'm going to show you how to paint a simple, outdated end table and how we can make it look better in just a few steps. So this is step number 1 right here. This is the most important stuff, the prep cleaner. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to simply spray it on your piece and clean it. You can usually just use a paper towel, but if something's really dirty or grimy or super glossy, then use one of these little kitchen scrubbies. We actually sell these online. So I do want to point out, can you see this piece right here is, it's got some like damage, some water damage, something has been spilled, and I don't really want to sand it because I don't want to take all the time to do that. So I am going to show you too how to hide this, how to hide imperfections on your tabletops so that it takes your eye away from this bubbling look right here, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is spray it on. It doesn't really smell. It's got a really, really low VOC. All of these products do. And then I'm going to take my kitchen scrubby here. We actually sell these. Or you can just use a kitchen scrubby that you have at home. And we're just going to clean it really well. And it's looking pretty gross. Watch this. I don't even know what's on here. Ooh. Okay, it's dry. It dries really quickly. Now we're ready to paint. So the top of this has this water damage right here, so I kind of want to hide it. Now if I do just paint, like, you will see the bumps, so that's why we're going to do something a little different on this one and do some like, it's kind of like a faux wood look so that it kind of hides those imperfections. I am starting with the color. This is called Grassland. It's kind of like a, I don't know, kind of like a beigey green kind of thing. I don't know if you call it green, but it's a pretty cool color. So we're gonna open it up. Sometimes you gotta tap on that. And this paint, this resin paint usually takes 2 coats. Each coat dries in about 30 to 40 minutes. It is self-leveling. Let me pull you a little bit closer here so you can see. Goes on really nicely. It covers really nicely. There we go. See that? Look how nice that covers. This is the most user-friendly paint you will ever use, I promise you. I have been painting for, gosh, it's probably been about 10 years now. And this is by far the most user-friendly product I've ever had my hands on. And the most versatile, just really versatile. Now I am going along with the wood grain. This one's a little bit different because I have 2 wood grains. I have some going this way, that way, and this way. So actually, I take that back. You know what we're going to do? I am going to keep everything going the same direction because I forgot we're doing a faux wood top, and we're going to have it all go the same way. It would be really tricky to have different lines in here. So again, this is the color Grassland. I'm doing 1 coat on the top. After after it dries, I will do a second quick coat. You really can just kind of apply it pretty quick. Just get it on. Sometimes that's half the battle. And then go back through and straighten it out. But you don't want to go over it too much because paint can start to pull. If you feel it starting to pull, you might want to either dip your paintbrush in a little cup of water or just stop, okay? Because the more you go over it, the more it pulls. All right, we're gonna let this dry. So this is coat number 1. You can see the bubbles right here. But once we do the faux wood look, it will help hide those imperfections. So that's coat number 1. Stay tuned for coat 2. Okay, now I am gonna paint the rest of this, and I am gonna just use a brush. Don't forget, you gotta take off your hardware. Here's something to think about. If you're gonna change the hardware, like if you're gonna change the size of the holes or to a different size of hardware, make sure you fill it first with wood putty. I try my hardest not to change the hole size because I think it's a pain. I try to get the same size, or now you can buy adjustable hardware on Amazon, which is pretty darn awesome. So we got those off, we prepped the whole thing, and now I'm just gonna keep painting. And I decided, I think I'm just gonna paint the rest of it grassland and do the top a different faux wood look. So here we go. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm here for...
Okay, so I got the whole thing painted with one coat, and as you probably noticed when I was painting, I'm being really sloppy. And here's what I decided while I was painting. I decided this piece is old and it's not like in the greatest condition, but I'm gonna roll with the old look. So I'm gonna paint it kind of sloppy, and we're gonna let some of the wood show through, because at the end of this, after I put on my light 2 coats, I am going to distress it to kind of highlight different pieces. I'll show you guys that here in the video. So, but for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and do the second coat. So this is a first coat on everything, as you can see. Whoop. Okay, it's been about 40 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply the second coat to this. It's pretty darn dry. And actually, even if I scratch with my fingernail, it's not coming off. Just after 40 minutes of being painted. That shows you right there the toughness. Now, I'm gonna do a quick coat here. This doesn't have to be perfect, especially since I'm doing the, I do need to get in all these like little crevices. Look how beautiful this is. Okay, here is 2 coats of grassland, quick coats, I may add. You can really see the bubbles there. but look at the coverage. And this was a fast, quick coats. That looks pretty bad in the light. These are still drying down here on the bottom, but this is what it looks like. Self levels actually pretty darn nice. See that just with the brush. That does not look good, but we're gonna hide that. Okay, now we're gonna start the faux wood look. So step number 1 is painting it a contrasting color. I am using the color Cotton right here. I'm gonna get it all over. Make sure you do this really quickly because next we're gonna be taking this wood grain tool and you are going to simply rock it back and forth. You're gonna pull it down, creating that wood grain look. And you're gonna overlap each time you pull. A lot of times you'll get a little too much paint, so you might have to wipe it off in between, but that's all you're gonna do is just rock this wood grain tool back and forth, and it's gonna create that wood grain look. It's so easy and so fast. Keep going until it's completely done, and then you're gonna let it dry. And then the very last step will be to put the dark walnut stain on the top. Now make sure that you come around and you do the front edges, the side edges with the paint and the wood grain tool, because you don't want to miss any of it. But this is going to help hide the imperfections with this wood grain. Okay, now it's all dry. So step number 2 is to apply the dark walnut stain top. It's a really liquidy stain. There's the consistency. Make sure you stir it really good before you put it on. And you're just gonna start applying it with a brush. Get it all over. This is gonna make it look a little more natural, more like a wood grain. This really brings it all together. So the dark walnut stain top, put it all over. I normally do 1 coat with this look. If you want to do 2 coats, you can. It takes about 45 minutes to dry. After you get a nice even coat, you're completely finished. You're going to let it dry and you can use it the following day. All right, let's check out the end result. It completely covered up those bubbles and now you cannot even see them. And we didn't even sand. All right, so I have the piece completely finished. The top is dry. It's got the faux wood look. You can't see, you can hardly see the imperfections on the top. The bottom is painted kind of a sloppy 2 coats of paint. So what I'm gonna do is, just to go along with the piece, since it's already kind of old and beat up, I'm gonna do a really quick light distressing. Like this. I'm using one of these little tools. It's just a little sandpaper with about an 80 grit on there. These are removable. Like that, they're Velcro. You can get them at most of the big box stores. And I'm just gonna start taking off some of the paint where I wanna highlight my lines. So I usually like to do it around the drawers. Kind of just gives it a little bit of character and kind of adds a little something to the piece. I'm going to show you here. See how we just highlighted, how I highlighted the drawer there? Kind of makes those lines pop out. And then I'm going to go through and just do some highlights here on the ends. Now here's the thing about distressing. If you distress too much, you can always go back through and put more paint on. So you don't have to worry about distressing too much, but you can see how good this paint is too, because I am actually really pressing pretty hard to get the wood grain to come back through. So it is on there. I highlighted the top of that. I'll bring you closer so you can kind of see. I'm just gonna highlight this. You can kind of take it off wherever you want. Hey, thanks for watching the tutorial on how to do full wood and how to do a quick paint job with no sanding or priming. This paint line is amazing. I highly recommend you using it, especially if you are a beginner or if you have no idea where to start. This is the absolute easiest way you can go and the best, most durable paint you can use. Go to reviveitdecor.com. There I have on the website getting started bundles, which it's a very small bundle that you could use for something like this. You could use for a small dresser. We also have kitchen bundles where you can start doing kitchen cabinets or larger pieces of furniture. Go get what you need. It has everything in it. Thanks for following and thanks for watching.